Hi, this is the Guy Who Games Log. Today, in collaboration with N7 Demon Trigger from Outta Time Studio, we will be doing a top 10 list of our favorite games that use time in interesting ways.
Number 10 on the list is Sonic CD. Sonic CD was made by Sega in 1993 for the PC. It was a very special Sonic game in the fact that it introduced two of the franchise's many long-running characters, and centered around time travel itself in each level, making you run by signposts labeled past and future to go and save each level's past to make a better future. It was one of the first games I played on a computer and is a personal favorite for reasons.
Number 9 on the list is Chrono Trigger. Chrono Trigger is a role-playing game developed by Square Enix in 1995. The reason why it's on this list is because of the game's unique use of time, travel, and the story. You travel through time to eras such as the prehistoric age to the post-apocalyptic future. It was one of the first RPGs I've played that used time travel in an interesting way.
Number 8 on the list is Sholde. This RPG horror game was made by an individual by the name of Kelvin, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, originally a submission for a contest and featuring all custom artwork. In Sholde, you play in a far-off future land of nightmares that both it and its inhabitants are slowly decaying away from. I first encountered this game through Google searches and have since been working on a playthrough of it on my own show, Gaming with Outta Time Studio.
Number 7 on the list is Timeshift. Developed by Saber Interactive in 2007, Timeshift is an FPS that takes place in the near future where time machines exist. But not any time machines, time suits. In the game, you use the beta suit and are able to slow, stop, or even rewind time. This grants the player the ability to dodge enemies' projectiles or even steal an enemy's own gun and use it against them. Overall, I feel this was a really good game with a really interesting mechanic.
Number 6 on the list is Corpse Party. This horrifying game was developed by Team Gris and first debuted on the PC in 1996. Since then, it has gained two as horrifying sequels, one of which was a remastered version of the first game that was released to the PSP, and gained widespread attention from PewDiePie and many other Let's Play YouTubers. The story follows a young group of high schoolers and the hell they and their teacher are thrown into by a powerful curse, trapping them all in varying alternate universe versions of the decaying, deadly walls of the long-since torn-down Heavenly Host Elementary School. I came across this game via watching other YouTubers playing and reacting to it, and I myself may consider visiting the hellish walls of this demonic school.
Number 5 on the list is Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. This game is on the list for using time in interesting ways to interact with the environment. When you die, you can reverse time to undo the effects. You can also freeze time to interact with water as if it was a solid. I felt this was a very solid game in the franchise and used the time mechanic very well.
Number 4 on the list is The Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword. Now I know a lot of you may be wondering why Skyward Sword instead of Ocarina of Time, and I'll get to that in a moment. But first, this well-known and loved game was made by none other than gaming's legendary Shigeru Miyamoto and Nintendo, and is the prequel-sequel installment so far that lays the groundwork for the other Zelda games in the franchise. As usual, you play as Link and have to adventure through both Hyrule and the new Skyloft to rescue Zelda and help other characters along your journey. This game lands the mark for time travel in the list because unlike Ocarina of Time, where doing things between the past and future tend to affect two alternate realities, universes, whatever, I'm not going to start, given that I'm not MatPat nor a game theorist. Separately, in Skyward Sword, you travel to an even further point in the past than we've seen to date, and your actions directly affect the world and outcomes of the present future that Link and Zelda are actually from.
Number 3 on the list is Conundrum. Quantum Conundrum is a puzzle platformer game developed by Airtight Games and published by Square Enix. This first-person puzzle game features the ability to change dimensions, like the fluffy dimension, where items are 10 times lighter, the heavy dimension, where items are 10 times heavier, the reverse gravity dimension, where gravity is reversed, and the slow dimension, where time is halted to a snail's pace. This game features many interesting puzzles, taking use of all of these unique mechanics.
Number 2 on the list is Socket. Socket is one of the many 90s era clone games that came to light during a time in gaming where every company was hard at work trying to make a mascot character like what Sega and Nintendo accomplished with Sonic and Mario. Socket was made by Vic Tokai, sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, for the Sega Genesis in 1994, and though it gained some attention, it unfortunately fell through and has since never been seen again in terms of sequels or anything else related to it. In the game you play as Socket. In each level you travel through many different stages of time to fight the Time Dominator in an attempt to stop his evil plan of taking over destroying time, and relatively it's probably one of the funner clone games that I've ever seen before. This game actually was one of my absolute favorites next to Sonic as a kid, and has earned a special place in my heart that will probably last for a very long time. Until the next really awesome game.
Now, before we go into our number 1 pick, we will give our honorable mentions. My honorable mention is Quantum Break. The reason why this game is only an honorable mention is because the game is not released yet, and I have not played any of the game. Quantum Break is an action third-person shooter developed by Remedy Entertainment and published by Microsoft Studios. In the game, a time travel experiment goes wrong at the fictional northeastern US Rivport University. During this event, it does not only cause time to start to break down, but also grants 3 main characters, Jack Joyce, Beth Wilder, and Paul Serene, the ability to manipulate time. For example, Paul, the main antagonist, can see into the future and decide which choices to make into the present. On the other hand, Joyce, one of the two protagonists, can stop time. The two are pursued by Monarch Solutions, a corporation founded by Serene. The gameplay involves you warping time to your advantage in combat, using it to get the jump on your enemies. The gameplay looks tight, and the story looks even tighter. I can't wait for the game to come out.
Hey, that's a very good honorable mention. Mine all of you probably know well, but only a few of you may still love. My honorable mention is Assassin's Creed. Many of you may be ready to throw the book at me for this, and yes, I know it doesn't have anything directly to do with actual time travel. However, what the game does offer is a simulated recreation of the many lives and ancestors of Desmond Miles and the many other Animus users being introduced as of recent. And though each simulated recreation is along set perimeters that always follows a straight and narrow line of what happened, given it's a part of history and can't be changed, the simulation itself allows for the person using the Animus to go back and become their ancestor in a sense, to basically see and do and directly be a part of the actions that shaped history. And that sheer fact alone, whether you're killing Templars in the Holy Land or sinking ships as a badass pirate, is why this series as a franchise earns my respect and the spot as my honorable mention for this top 10 list.
My number 1 pick for this list is Braid. Braid is a 2D puzzle platformer developed by independent developer Number 1 Incorporated. The player controls the protagonist Tim as he runs, jumps, and climbs across the game's many levels. A defining game element is the player's unlimited ability to reverse time. Rewind, if you will, even after dying. Each world has its own time-based mechanic, varying from time moving based upon where you are on the horizontal axis, to shadows of your previous self from an alternate time. The game does very many interesting things with time, and that is why it's on the top of this list. What do you guys think of the list? Agree with their picks? Think a game that should have been on the list but wasn't? Comment below, let us know. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe to Outta Time Studio in the description. And this is the guy who games a lot, and I still cannot properly end a video.
Yeah.